Good morning, everybody. Wake up. Wake up, wake up. In Provincetown. This week featuring Wake Up, Wake Up. Can I have some coffee? Wake up, wake up. Make it strong, please. Hey. Ho. Hey. Wake up, wake up. Ho. No, really, can I have some coffee? Wake up, wake up.
50 years ago. Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, September 15th, and this is Wake Up in Provincetown. I'm Bob.
I'm Harrison.
And we are so thankful that you're waking up with us here in Provincetown.
Definitely. We missed you all last week.
Good morning. Oh, yeah. Neither one of us
weeks.
was, it was the first show that neither one of us was at.
Yeah. Let's tell everyone who we got on the show today, and then we'll
All
get
right.
into that. We have Sheree coming in to sing a little song for you in celebration of her...
She was just crowned Co-Showgirl of the Year.
along with our friend Spooky. She's going to come in and sing a song from her Pink show this summer that's still running.
She has a show tonight.
Damn.
If you're in town, go see Sheree tonight.
We also
Take
have
shelter at the post office cabaret.
right.
There's a hurricane coming.
We also have Marion and Mary coming in to talk about their legacy in Provincetown, the cartoons they do for the Provincetown Independent. It's going to be awesome.
I sat down with Chad Hayduck of 3 Custom Color Specialists. They are making custom makeup on Shankpainter Road in Provincetown. You know, there's people that you know, like you meet people, and you're like, oh, I wonder what that person does for a living. Like, I've known Chad for years and just never, you know, you never really ask people what they do for a living here.
Right.
You're just like, oh, that person lives here and they must do something. I found out what Chad does. That's really cool.
We also have Jonathan Hawkins coming in. He's one of the producers of the Washashore Music Festival. He's going to be talking about this upcoming lineup and everything they got going on this upcoming Indigenous Peoples Day weekend. And we also have a little special wake-up sale for you to get weekend passes for the Washashore Music Festival. We'll be talking about that as well.
First, where the hell were you last Friday?
I had one of the most miserable 24 hours of my life.
Why?
Last Thursday. Well, I was in Philadelphia visiting Benji. If you've been watching the show or you follow him on Instagram, you've definitely heard that he has brain cancer at the moment. He started radiation a couple weeks ago. He is in very good spirits, but I went down to visit him last week for a few days, just caught lunch with him the 2 days I was there. It was really nice seeing him. He's in really good spirits and is facing this head on, and it's really great seeing all the people in Provincetown sending him a lot of love and support. Also, he's been, so you may know Benji as an artist. I purchased some of his art. He has done art shows over at Studio Lacombe. He also does murals. There's some at the Crown. They've been all over town. He did the octopus float over at Carnival last year for the Boston Harbor Cruises float. But he has been kind of reworking. He lost most of the use of his right hand, so he's been retraining himself to draw with his left hand, and he's getting really good at it. He's really proud of the work he's producing. But he is shortly launching a print shop where you're going to be able to order prints of these direct from the internet to ship directly to your house. I'll have more details for you on that next week.
Nice.
Yeah, but I hung out with him for a few days, and then the travel back was miserable.
Were you driving from Pennsylvania?
I was not driving. I flew because my car is broken, and I will not be doing that again.
What happened to your car?
Something's wrong with it. I need to take it to the shop.
Oh.
If you have recommendations of where I should take it in town, please
I do.
put it in the comments or just tell me after the show.
Yeah, tell him where he should take his car. Wait a minute, so you flew back? That doesn't sound so miserable.
Well, the flight from Philly to Boston is about 45 minutes. We sat on the tarmac for about 3 hours. The day before, I realized that my flight was scheduled to land after all the ferries, planes, and buses from Boston to Provincetown would get me back that evening. So I posted on Instagram to see if anyone was driving back on Thursday night. 2 of my friends very graciously offered to drive me back, and I was very appreciative. Then I sat on the tarmac for 3 hours.
What was wrong?
I don't know. There was a storm or something. What's that quote from Devil Wears Prada? It's just a little rain or something.
Oh.
But we sat on the tarmac for a few hours. I begged them to go and not wait for me because I felt so bad. Then I got back to Boston, had a bunch of other travel mishaps that were kind of my fault. And then checked into my hotel, which was the worst hotel experience of my life.
What?
the air conditioning wasn't working and my room was 85 degrees and at about 1 o'clock in the morning I packed all my stuff, which was just like shoving the clothes I wore that day back into my backpack, walked downstairs. So I was like, I need a different room. The front desk attendant was sleeping in the back and then was like, oh, I can't give you another room, the hotel's sold out. And I'm like, you're telling me it's 1 o'clock in the morning in a 100-room sold out hotel and you're sleeping behind the desk? I just don't see that as possible.
When do you expect her to sleep? It's 1 in the morning.
Yeah, and then she's like, I'll just go turn the air conditioning on in your room, because she apparently thought I was someone who couldn't figure out how to turn.
So you definitely didn't turn it on.
She's like, you probably have it set to heat. I was like, baby, I don't. She went up, hit a couple of buttons, and then nothing changed. So I slept about 45 minutes after paying $400 for a hotel room last minute, then took the $100 ferry back to Provincetown, missed wake up in Provincetown, and yeah, it was miserable. But that's okay. But I was happy to see Mark and Brittany do a really incredible job last week. I was watching it mostly on the ferry, so I got like 90% of it as it often cut out. Yeah.
I would have been here on time for the show last Friday if not for those climate protesters at the U.S. Open. It's real. This happened. Did you guys talk about this? It happened. I know. I love watching the show last week, and they're like, who knows where they are? They decided not to come. You knew exactly where we were. Exactly. Anyway, I was at the U.S. Open enjoying some world-class tennis, and these 4 people in T-shirts that read "End Fossil Fuels" stood up and started chanting, "There's no tennis on a dead planet. There's no tennis on a dead planet."
Not wrong.
And while that's true, it felt very unfair to Coco Gauff, who did end up winning the tournament. But I love Coco. Poor Coco was disrupted in the middle of her semifinal match. And of course, all of the rich white ladies around me were like, can you believe they're doing this right now? And I was like, you guys, they're not wrong. And I was like, look, the number 1 and number 2 sponsor of this tournament are Cadillac and Emirates Air, who I'm pretty sure use a lot of fossil fuels.
Right.
And then for my part, I was like, just me, drove 5+ hours each way in a giant gas-guzzling truck just to watch some tennis. Is it me? Am I the problem? It's me? I was like, they're talking directly to me. But they were so far, they were on the other side of the stadium and I couldn't make out what they're saying, so I was mad too. It was terrible. No, I didn't get back to Astoria until after 2 in the morning.
Damn.
And then I was like, well, I could try to sleep till 5, which was when I was gonna wake up and drive home. And I was like, I better just drive home now. I drove home from New York at 2 in the morning Friday. I did get back in time to be on the show. I got home at like 7:15, but you know, I had to sleep. So I went to sleep and I enjoyed the show later that day.
Nice.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Brittany. We love you guys. I think having guest co-hosts is fun.
It is fun. Oh no, it's awesome.
Yeah, we should miss the show more often.
No, let's not plan on it, but it is really great to know that if we have to miss the show, there are incredible people that can fill our shoes.
Yes. End fossil fuels, guys.
Yeah. Are your
But
feet glued to the
also,
ground?
My feet are glued to the floor. You know what, though? This is how I look at it. Everybody has to think about their own individual carbon footprint, right? I bike to work. I hardly ever drive anywhere. So I am like banking my road miles.
Yeah, I do think it is great for people to think about their personal responsibility and the way that's affecting the planet. But it is also important to remember that about 100 companies do about like 95% of the pollution in the world.
It's true.
And Emirates Airlines might be one of them.
But have you ever flown Emirates Airlines? It's so primo. It's the best flight I was ever on.
Bob is going to be added to the list of people who are canceled this week.
Coincidentally, I was going to the Australian Open one time. Oh my God, it's always tennis. Tennis is the problem. If you think about sports, though, tennis is the only one where people are flying all over the place all the time. Golf too.
Golf is the worst.
Golf is the worst because it's not even fun to watch.
Yeah,
At least tennis is fun to watch.
It was only invented so like straight white men would have a reason to go on walks with their friends. Like, just go for a walk. That's real.
Fly Emirates.
But when Coco Gauff did win, there was a really special moment where she thanked Billie Jean King after she won. She got handed her $3 million check, and she said, what did she say? Thank you, Billie, for fighting for this. If you don't know, after a tournament that Billie Jean won in the 70s,
Yeah.
She said she wouldn't be coming back if the prize money wasn't the same for the men as it is for the women.
Yeah. The U.S. Open was celebrating 50 years of equal prize money. They were the first major to do that, thanks to Billie Jean King.
Work.
And thanks to Venus Williams, a whole bunch of other tournaments are doing it now too.
Besides going to Philly, I did do a few really fun things over the past couple weeks. I hosted Boombox, which was the Friday night party over at the Crown and Anchor. It was really fun. Boomer Banks was DJing along with DJ Andrew Lennox. The music was honestly incredible. Joey Jock and Lily Rose Velour were dancers, and it just made me feel so silly because I was in drag, obviously. I could barely two-step in the heels I was wearing, and Lily Rose Velour she's like an acrobat. And I'm over here like, ouch, ouch, ouch. And she's doing like backflips, and I'm just like, whew. I'm not cut out for this. But it was so much fun. Mackenzie and I hosted. It was a blast. Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. I also made it back to trivia for the first time since before the Fantastics run. It was a lot of fun. I coasted with Evan, who was filling in as like the main host throughout the summer.
We coasted?
Co-hosted. We had about 25 teams, which was wildly amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. This past week, I didn't host as Evan's friend Ari Shapiro was in town and he wanted to co-host with them. It was so much fun. I actually came and played instead of hosting, and I got second place. I lost by 1 point.
Who beat you?
A team of people that I didn't know.
Weird.
It just like wasn't regulars, which is weird because most of the time it's the regulars who come, who win. But I'm mad at Julian.
Why?
Because there were just things he should have known that he didn't. Like, who's this character from the TV show? He's like, I watched all 8 seasons of that show and I can't remember that character's name. I'm like, Julian.
Maybe it was your fault that you lost and not Julian's.
I don't think so. I blame Julian. That's okay.
Okay.
Anything else you got up to this week, or should we have Jonathan on?
Let's have Jonathan on. I want to talk to Jonathan about Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher.
Oh my God. He's coming out to talk about the Washashore Music Festival.
I thought we were talking about who was getting canceled this week.
Oh, one more thing. When I went to Philly, I actually got to stay in the actual lake house that was used as a filming location in the incredible film Chrissy Judy.
Really?
Yeah.
Aww.
If you haven't seen Chrissy Judy yet, I'm in it for 0.2 seconds, and you can stream it on Amazon or iTunes or anywhere you stream movies.
Fun.
Yeah.
Where's Jonathan?
Ooh, we're gonna play a Washashore promo clip, and we'll be back with Jonathan in just a second.
I'm in the middle of love, in the middle of love, in the middle of loving you. It's so far from done. You tried to run, I tried to tie your shoes. In the middle of love, in the middle of love, it's breaking us up in two. There's not much I can do.
That looks like so much fun. Every year, Indigenous Peoples Day weekend has been brightened for the past few with Washashore Music Festival. Thanks to you.
Oh, no, my gosh, thanks. We have an incredible team.
You really do.
have an incredible team.
All stars.
It is. It really is quite an amalgamation. Is that a word?
Sure.
Amalgamation of like townies who, the Washashore Music Festival came from the Brewery Boys. It was an idea that they had for several years. I got involved kind of last minute in the first year, and it has been. This will be our 3rd year, and every year it sort of develops into something new and different, and it gets queerer, and it gets weirder, and it gets more fabulous, and this year's gonna be the same.
Great.
Yeah.
What can we expect?
Yeah. Who do we got this year?
Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit different of a format than usual because we wanted to build without expanding too fast. So the past few years we've used 3 different venues, obviously the Provincetown Brewing Company, the Red Room, as well as the Crown and Anchor. This year we wanted to do something different, and so we're actually taking it to Town Hall. So it starts on Saturday with the Net Gala, which if any of you hosted it, ended up being incredible. We encouraged everyone to put on some looks. I wore an outfit made completely out of marine specialties. Garbage.
Classic.
Yeah. It was pretty fabulous, if I say so myself.
Yeah.
And that was an incredible party. So we'll start on Friday night with the Net Gala, which will have performances from Drizzy Bravo, who is like, I would say probably the biggest surprise of Washashore last year. What's really cool about the mission of Washashore is that it's introducing Provincetown to new artists and introducing new artists to Provincetown. And we all know Drizzy, like from around town, and he was like, "Oh, I rap." And Tangle and I, about 3 days before the festival, he's like, "I don't really have any tracks, but like maybe I could just have a few minutes in the room with you, and you guys can like tell me what you think." But like meanwhile, like he's announced as a performer, and both of us are like, "Oh god!" Great. This track started, and he is like, "That was me rapping." No, and he's like, "Yeah," and like he's like this big, and he's like, "Can we start that over?" And I was like, "Oh shit."
Good sign, good sign.
And then he started it over and like without missing a beat, like went into this like sick rhyme. And can I say that? Just like sick, like no, just this like this. It was incredible. And Tangle and I just like grabbed each other's hands, and then he went to another place for 3 minutes, and we were just like
Totally transformed.
And he's like, "Was that okay?" And I was like, "What the?" Anyway, so that's incredible. So he's performing, and then we have Boyfriend, who's based in Nashville, and I have notes because I love her. So Boyfriend would describe her style as a rap cabaret, which like we love. She uses rap to sort of talk about the social commentary, to start conversations about identity. And she actually chose the name Boyfriend because she said the term was overused and oppressive by her friends. So she's like, "I'm sick of all of you saying, 'Oh, my boyfriend,'" and so
I agree.
yeah, very Harrison vibes. No offense.
None taken.
In 2018, she released a music video of Rodgers and Hammerstein's "Wash That Man Right Out of My Hair," and the whole thing is like a social commentary on like, why the fuck am I putting on lipstick?
Right.
Like, I just, she's badass.
I love that.
And then that night will be followed by John Cameron Mitchell's like infamous party, the Mattachine, which is like part dancing, part performance. It started at Julius's. She started it with Amber Martin, who will also be there.
Oh, I love Amber Martin.
And it's like punk, classic rock, disco, basically everything before 1995. And John Cameron Mitchell says he's also known for knowing exactly when to play a slow jam. I'm like, that's a party I love. I love to dance, but like sometimes I need to like slow it down and.
I want that awkward moment where you all step back and you look
100%.
around. Who's gonna dance with me?
Yeah.
Like it's a middle school dance. I love that.
Yeah, we all love to relive that trauma. So I'll dance with you. And so that's Saturday night. So it's gonna be incredible. Then Sunday, it's all over at Town Hall, and it starts with an immersive original piece by Andrew Lennox and João Santos, and it's essentially, I just literally asked Andrew about this last night. So Andrew, as you all know, is a remarkable musician, but also an incredible composer and a DJ. And he's essentially taking João's vocals, and everything you hear is going to be labeled on top of each other, and he's going to manipulate it live. And it's going to be fully consisting of João's vocals that he is manipulating to create this storyline, which I won't explain because I hope you understand it, because I think it's pretty beautiful. And so it'll start with about 30 minutes of that being mixed and manipulated live, which then builds to João coming out and him being like the last layer of his own voice in this like incredibly powerful.
This is Sunday of Washashore.
Moving piece, yeah. It's going to be incredible. So that starts Sunday. And then we have Supernova, who was probably last year's fan favorite. She blew everyone away. Supernova, it chose her name because a supernova is sort of the most energetic thing before a star dies, and she said that's how she wants to live her life. To live life giving it her all and then seeing beauty in the chaos that comes from it. Supernova is like a genius. So she was a doctor, and she went to med school and chose to not do her residency and become a musician instead. And she started writing music during her transition as like a form of therapy, and then was like, yeah, I don't need to be a doctor. I'm just gonna be like a sick ass guitarist.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's incredible. And then Jake Wesley Rogers, who is truly taking the world by storm. Elton John has called him his protege.
Really?
Yeah, truly. The song that you heard in the intro video is him. It's pop, it's fun, it's Elton John updated, I would say. And it's just gonna be an incredible time. And then following that, our after party is in cooperation with Babes and Boys. We're doing Clam Jam. Yeah, so Clam Jam was a party that was, a staple here in P-Town many years ago. This summer we did a Clam Jam pool party. The team is fun and creative and wacky and the epitome of Washashore.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So it's a great weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a great weekend. It's different than what we've done in the past. It's expanding without growing too fast, and I think it's going to be awesome.
Fun.
How can we get tickets?
You can get tickets at Washashorefest.com. Yeah, great. No, yeah.
Link in bio.
Yes, exactly. No, and Washashorefest.com, and I know there is going to be a link in the comments section, which will reopen the Townie tickets. So it'll be up for today, so you can get Townie tickets for $100, and that's $100 for the entire experience.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Really, really great value.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you guys.
Really, White House? We're not going to talk about
Is Mila Kunis canceled?
Okay, real quick, White House and Mila Kunis.
What's White House?
I just got back from the White House.
Oh,
Yeah,
the White House.
Yeah, Paolo and I were asked to join the Premium Arts Laureate Awards announcement at the White House. We were invited by Hillary Clinton, who hosted it with Jill Biden.
we can use first names.
Yeah,
We're
I
in
called
first name
Jill.
basis.
I was like, hey Jill, hey Hill. It was really special. Wynton Marsalis performed.
Oh, wow.
A small group from the Harlem's Art School performed because they received an award. Mikhail Baryshnikov was there. And we're literally...
From Sex and the City?
Oh my God, so you just ruined my story! So I'm sitting there and Paolo's like looking around, and it's like the who's who of
The world.
fabulous people, yeah.
Right.
And I was like, why is the guy who Carrie left in France on Sex and the City here? And he's like, that's Mikhail
He's
Baryshnikov.
like one of the
And I
most
was like,
famous ballerinas
from
on the
Sex and the
planet.
City? And he was like, oh my God.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And I was like, oh. So I'm like Googling him like in my seat, and I was like, how embarrassing.
Oh, he did other things.
No, and I was like, oh, well, okay. All right, cool. I just thought he was like the douche from season 7. So that was fabulous and really special. Mila Kunis.
Yeah.
So I don't exactly know this whole story in regards to the person who the allegations, or did he get, was he found guilty?
Yeah, 30 years in
Danny
jail.
Masterson was found guilty for raping 2 people during the filming of that 70s show. He was one of the main cast members, and he just got sentenced to 30 years to life in prison.
Right. So obviously that is terrible. That a crime,
Fully.
that such a crime was committed. However, I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying this, but I think friends who know people in a different way, I think it's important for them to speak out.
I do too.
Because the cancel culture that is rampant right now is really heartbreaking. I have a friend who is currently going through a similar situation, and it's been really hard. She did not rape anybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's very different, but it's really hard to watch someone's life be ruined by people who don't know her or know her intent or know what she's dedicated her life to for the last 15 years. And these are people who are just wanting to cancel for entertainment purposes.
Right.
And
And-
I think no matter what, listen, he obviously raped people, and that is not okay.
We're talking about Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher, who wrote letters of support for Danny Masterson.
Character
They-
letters saying
Yeah.
this is the person we know.
That
They
we
didn't
know.
say he didn't do it. They didn't say don't believe the victims. They said this is the person we know. And I think that you should write a letter in support of somebody that you know and love for 30 years.
Yeah,
Right.
and also I feel like it's one of those situations where it's like you get two facts. Everything is boiled down to these two facts. They wrote letters of support for Danny Masterson, and that's all you get. But it's like they weren't saying he didn't do it. They weren't saying he shouldn't go to jail. They weren't saying. They were just saying this is the person we know.
Yeah.
Take that into consideration.
In the story, because I think there's more to a person than a crime or a specific incident or something that happened a long time ago. And again,
We're talking about the 70s. This stuff happened 50 years ago.
No.
Yeah. Weren't they on that 70s show?
Groans from the room.
I see nothing's
Ancient
changed.
history.
No, I think,
Yeah.
you know, it's a tough position to be in, obviously, and obviously he committed the crime, and that's terrible. But I think it takes a lot of bravery to speak out in defense of the character of someone, and I respect that.
Me too.
Yeah.
God.
What are you doing?
Fly.
It really isn't.
Yeah. Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
coming.
much for joining us. We love you.
Do we have a
miss
video? Or
you.
we're just gonna shove him off the set.
I'll just slowly disappear.
Perfect. Oh my God. But in continuing the conversation around that 70s show, and a lot of other people got canceled this week
Who else?
beyond Ashton Kutcher and
I
Mila
thought you were going
Kunis.
to say Beyonce.
No. Could you imagine?
No, she can't.
That's why she doesn't do interviews anymore.
Really?
I just feel like no, I'm just saying I imagine people are scared to say the wrong thing and to get canceled, or But other people who got canceled this week, The Rock and Oprah got canceled. They made a video asking for donations in support of Maui and the communities that were hit hard by that fire a few weeks ago. They asked, their goal was 10 million, and they're not like they're not hardcore canceled, but I think people found it a little tone deaf for one of the richest people in the world to be asking people to donate for 10 million when she could write a check for 10 million and she wouldn't even notice,
I'm disagreeing with this.
Why?
I'm sorry. Because, well, who's allowed to host a fundraiser then, if not Oprah?
Right, but you could also be like, I'm donating $10 million and I would love for other people to follow suit.
I bet she is.
Yeah, I don't doubt that she is.
I'm matching all donations.
Right.
Yeah, it's easy, yeah. Other people who got canceled this week, Drew Barrymore got canceled.
What?
So a lot of people, there's a bit of confusion around the writers.
Is it for her accent and Never Been Kissed?
It's about a list.
Oh.
There was a question from trivia about Never Been
I meant
Kissed this
Ever
morning.
After, not Never Been Kissed.
I was like, does she have an accent in that movie?
No.
I'm not Josie Croce anymore. That's my favorite line. But so there's a bit of confusion around the writer's strike and what projects are moving forward, what projects are continuing to happen, and what projects are stopping. And I think the delineation that Drew Barrymore might be trying to blur the lines of is broadcast news is continuing because the journalists themselves are the writers,
Right.
and are separate from the Writers Guild.
Right.
It's like Wake Up. That we write the stories for Wake Up. We do the research. There's no writers behind the scenes writing stories for us. On the Drew Barrymore show, that she had writers. It was separate. It was a show that was produced by writers, and therefore she announced that she was going to be bringing her show back. And a lot of people are upset. They feel like this is scab behavior. What do you think?
I feel like the last time there was a writer's strike, talk shows were the first things to come back before everything was over. And she's just, all the other talk shows are coming back. She was just the first one to announce it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you want to be in a category with you and Bill Maher.
Oh, what's that supposed to mean?
But, people are upset with her because she's coming back, and it was just weird timing because she was set to host the VMAs, which did happen this past weekend, and she made this grandiose thing where I'm bowing out of the VMAs in support of the writers, and then 2 days before, this was when the writer's strike happened, or began months ago, she announced that she wouldn't be hosting the VMAs because of this, and then 2 days before the VMAs announced her show would be coming back without writers.
There's a lot of below-the-line talent on these shows. She's thinking about the 40 or 50 crew who are also out of work because of it. It's not just, listen, there's a gray area here. It's a very complicated subject. A lot of people have been out of work because of all of these strikes. And if there was a way to send some people back to, it's not just actors and writers losing their houses. It's like the boom operator. Like she's thinking about those people who need to go back to work.
But you could also argue that this is like a win and a step in the right direction for the production companies that are the problem.
Totally.
They're like, oh, well, if things are going to come back little by little, we can now wait them out longer. I just feel like it's a bad step.
Gray area.
You could be like these celebrities. So their Union Solidarity Coalition has reached out, and a group of celebrities are teaming up and auctioning off their time and memorabilia in a fundraiser to support healthcare costs for union members that are out of work because of the strikes. These are kind of like kooky things, like Adam Scott will walk your dog for an hour, or Lena Dunham will paint a mural in your home. My favorite was Natasha Lyonne will help you do a crossword puzzle from the New York Times.
How much does that cost?
Well, it's all auctioned, so the prices are just keep going up. One of them is a personal song written for you by the cast of Bob's Burgers. Bob Burgers writes an original song for each of their episodes, so that's a really fun one. I've also loved the fake ones that are being...
Like what?
Because there's like a specific graphic that they're using for each of these, so people are making them that are fake, and my favorite one was Hassan Piker will call you a homophobic slur. Which, if you don't know Hassan Piker, it's
I don't know who that
thing.
is.
Right, but it's funny because he wouldn't do that. But it's
Who
like a
is
whole
Hassan
thing.
Piker?
He's like a very he's a like a political pundit that is very far left.
Oh,
Yeah, and he's very hot.
really? Is there a picture of him on the screen
No,
right
I
now?
wish. I'll show you a picture after.
Okay.
Okay, let's see if I think I have one or two more news stories, and then we'll move.
One comment is that she got on the MTV Movie Awards back in the spring, not the VMAs.
Oh, is the movie awards not the VMAs? Oh, okay. I guess that is a little different, but still the same. So Lauren Boebert was in the news this past week. She got kicked out of a performance of Beetlejuice. She was in the audience of a showing of the national tour of Beetlejuice in Denver. The theater didn't name that it was Lauren Boebert who got kicked out, but it was fairly obvious when footage was released. They said that Lauren Boebert was vaping in the audience, using her phone, taking pictures with flash during the performance of herself. She was like taking flash selfies during the performance, being very loud and disruptive. There were multiple other attendees around her complaining, and she was asked to leave. She played the "Do you know who I am" card, which is just like,
Yeah, that's why we're asking you to leave.
yeah, exactly. And I feel like it was a very visible stunt where she was like, I'm gonna do the bare minimum, but also exactly enough to get kicked out so I can be like, conservatives are oppressed in this country. We can't even see theater anymore. Her campaign manager confirmed that it was her, and he said that she pleads guilty to singing along, laughing, and enjoying herself. But there's video of her vaping in a theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She seems like somebody who would vape and take flash selfies at a
Yeah.
Broadway show.
So there was an article in the Provincetown Independent this past week about an emergency town meeting that is happening this upcoming October 23rd. A special town meeting, not emergency, but I think it's an emergency. A lot of them are in regards to housing. There's one for land purchase for $2 million for land on Nelson Ave to build housing. And there's 2 regulations on short-term rentals. I'm not positive, but I do think it was Alex Morse who was quoted. He said these 2 articles are kind of to address low-hanging fruit that he feels are kind of like, oh, everyone will be on board with this. One of them is to ban corporations from owning Airbnbs in town. LLCs, trusts, and S-corps will still be allowed to hold rental certificates as long as every person is real and known to town office or something like that. You just have to provide specific identification for all the owners of the LLC, S-corps, or trust.
Oh, good.
Another limits each person to only holding 2 short-term rental certificates. So one person can't have 6 or 7 or 10, and even though they're not a corporation. All existing licenses will be grandfathered in. In other short-term rental news, New York City basically all but outlawed Airbnb in New York. New York City implemented Local Law 18 over the weekend, which is a groundbreaking regulation aimed at regulating the booking service platforms like Airbnb. The law mandates that Airbnb hosts live in the place that they are renting and are present while the guests are staying. Which kind of goes back to the original function of Airbnb. Airbnb was billed when it was created as, oh, let someone who's backpacking across the country sleep on your couch for a few bucks. You're helping them find a place and you're making a little bit of money. And now it has turned into this behemoth where corporations, I'm not saying specifically about Provincetown, but in New York especially, corporations are buying up anything and everything they can. And it has caused an outrageous housing crisis in New York, and they're just renting them out. And it's not only is it destroying the housing stock, but it's also destroying houses specifically. When you live in a place, you take care of it. And when you're a corporation that owns something who's renting things out by the night, you don't care if it falls apart. So it's also destroying the actual housing in New York. It is great to see the powers that be in certain places do a lot of work to preserve their community.
Aren't we supposed to find out at this special town meeting the study, the results of the study?
Unsure.
I think that that's what they originally said, right?
Yeah. Might that happen?
Yes.
Oh, sure.
The results of the study. Do you remember which study I'm talking about?
The study that everyone wanted after last week?
The study, yeah.
Spring's town meeting?
The study.
The study.
What? When is that special town meeting?
October 23rd.
October 23rd.
And their local news, the Swim for Life happened last weekend, and it was extra successful. 250 people swam the 1.2-mile route, 80 kayakers and paddleboarders, 38 swimmers in Wellfleet's Great Pond, people who would rather opt for a guaranteed shark-free experience, and a dozen people swimming in places from other locations besides Provincetown. Approximately $225,000 were raised.
Nice.
They do expect it to be more. This was just as the Independent was reporting. They said there was still money to be counted. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think I have anything else. I don't think so. Let's talk about the storm real quick. There is a storm coming this weekend. Be prepared. It's not as expected to be as bad as it was, but there's still potential for a storm surge that does cause flooding in town. We hopefully won't get too much rain, as we are slightly outside of the cone as the storm thing. Yeah. As it's moving east, which is away from us. It's probably going to hit the shores of Maine and Canada head on, but by then they're expecting it to weaken into a tropical storm, which still might cause problems for us and other places in New England, but just be careful, be ready.
Batten down the hatches, be prepared.
Yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. Mm-hmm. I have so many other news stories. It's been 2 weeks.
I know.
But let's go to your friends you sat down with.
Yes, here's Chad Hayduck at 3 Color Custom Specialists. Good morning, everybody. I'm hanging out with Chad Hayduck of 3 Custom Color Specialists, where he makes makeup professionally on Shank Painter in Provincetown. How long have you guys been in this office?
Almost 10 years now.
And you've been doing this for how long?
25 years.
25 years. And we've known each other for years, but I had no idea what you did for a living.
Yeah, we're sort of a little secret in town, I guess.
Yeah.
We're a little cult brand that not many people know about, but we're here.
And what prompted the move to Provincetown?
Well, my husband and I started the brand, like I said, 25 years ago when we started my kitchen in New York City, hand-making makeup. Previously, I used to work for another company that made cosmetics, and that's sort of where I honed my skills in custom blending and making color. Mm-hmm. Sort of like an artist creating paint for their palette. So we started our kitchen and eventually got a space in New York City, but grew tired of New York, and being there for 29 years was enough. Mm-hmm. And Scott, my partner, I grew up in Massachusetts and summered on the Cape. So instead of us going to Fire Island every summer, we'd come up to the Cape. We've been together for 35 years.
Oh my God.
And it'll be 35 this coming October. And we just fell in love with Provincetown and decided, all right, we don't need to be in New York anymore. We can do our mail order business anywhere. And closed up shop there, moved up here, bought a little house, and the rest is history.
Nice.
We have 2 components to our business. One is what we call a ready-to-wear collection, which is all mail order. And the other part is our custom blending service, which also consists of 2 parts. We can match discontinued shades. So we have discontinuedlipstick.com is our website for that. And you can send us your favorite lipstick this old Tom Ford lipstick, for example, or search our archives. We've got over 10,000 documented shades dating back to the 1930s. And we predominantly do lip color, but we do all categories of color cosmetics. Eyeshadow, face powder, blushes, etc., etc.
And when Christine had her makeup store on Commercial Street, you had a line of like
Yeah,
performers in town.
we did. Yeah, it was great. We missed Christine very much, and we did the P-Town Performers collection for her, and proceeds went to her charity. And we did a range of like 15 drag queen lip colors.
What's the Dina Red called?
It was actually, I believe it was a L'Oreal shade. I do have it in the archives. If anybody wants Dina's color, we can certainly do that for you. Or Dina, if you need more, just you know where to call. We do some film, theater, and TV design work. I've been working in town with Peregrine and the Provincetown Theater, and I just worked on a movie that we shot actually a year ago called The Art Thief. Which Arthur Egley directed, and hopefully that'll be coming late this spring. Fingers crossed. So that's fun. Keeps me busy. I do a lot of projects. I like to get my hands dirty.
So you're gonna get your hands dirty right now?
Sure, I can show you how we blend. Again, like I said, it's sort of like a painter creating paint for their palette. So what I have here is a mini version of what I use in my lab. I've got hundreds and hundreds of pigments to work from. This is my lip color box, and then I've got all sorts of shimmers that I can add to literally anything to create another dimension. So let me show you. So for example, this color came in from Tom Ford, and this is a kind of a plum violet, burgundy violet. It's relatively sheer. So what I can do with my blending box is take some pigment to recreate it. So I'm going to start with some red, which has a very strong blue base. Add a bit of blue to that. Let's see what we get. Now it's way too pink, so I'm going to add some more red.
And you've been doing this for a long time, so you're making it look a lot easier than...
Well, you know, it's lip color is very different than paint in the respect that you're wearing it, and there's a lot of different things to look for in it. The coverage, for example, we can do everything from a very matte finish all the way to a gloss and everything in between. And then we can add that other dimension. I can't really see right now in the light, but we could add shimmer to this. So if this client wanted us to add a gold sparkle, I can add a dash of that to the formulation, keeping that same undertone, but I can give it some life.
I feel like I know her.
And then from there, what we do is once it is matched and we're happy with the blend, we then make it in bulk and then melt it down, pour it into the lipstick mold. It's chilled for about 15-20 minutes, and then out pops the lipstick.
That's amazing. I can't believe that you're doing this here.
I know.
It never occurred to me that people are making makeup professionally in Provincetown.
Yeah. I mean, we've been blending for like I said, 25 years, but I've been a makeup artist for a lot longer than that. Well, probably closer to 40 at this point. So now you know my age. But it's fun for me. Every day's different. I'm always excited to open the mail and see what we're getting. Stylists will call, makeup artists will call, celebrities will sometimes call. I got a great call from Jennifer Coolidge once, which was a real treat. She called herself. I picked up the phone, and there was that voice of hers saying hi. That didn't come out quite right, but she was lovely and thanked me for the makeup that we had sent her, and it was a real treat.
So how does everybody find you?
We are online. We're not a store, and being that this is a working lab, we don't have people come in, but I can go to people. I can set up appointments and go to people, or people can just mail us their whatever, and we can match it up for them. We do consultations. Everything is on our website as far as the ready to wear is concerned, and all of the services that we offer. And we do lessons. I do a lot of bridal work, consulting work, and then if any special projects in town that are going on, I'm always happy to do that too.
Nice. This is spectacular. Thank you for spending some time to show us
Well,
this.
thank you. Of course, my pleasure.
And I guess we'll see you guys soon. Check them out online.
3custom.com or discontinuedlipstick.com.
Perfect. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Yeah. Signature color.
My skin tone?
No, of lipstick.
Oh, pink.
Pink.
Yeah.
You guys, please welcome to the show Mary, DeAngelis, and Marion Roth. Thank you so much for making some time to be here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us.
Of course. So we were just chatting. Tell the audience how long you've been in Provincetown.
I came in '82, so I guess that's 41 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
41 wild years.
Yes.
Oh.
It's gotten tamer for me.
Interesting. We can fix that.
But it's been a gas. It's been a gas.
And y'all have been together for that long as well?
Almost.
we have. Bless us.
We met here. I was teaching photography, and Mary took my class. And
Hot for teacher.
Fell in love with me. Totally. Sorry. Yeah.
So you do cartoons for The Independent on occasion?
I do when I can conjure up something. And I do about 6 or 7 a year. There are people that do something every week that I think are extraordinary, but I have to wait till I come up with something. And they're not always funny. They're just like sometimes really odd, but they love them. I'll pitch to the editor, and I'll think this is too strange for them, and they'll go, oh, we love it.
Oh, Ed and Teresa, they love weird.
They do. And I got a fan letter for the first time this year, and I was so excited because it was some lovely man who I did not know. And it was like, and I was so excited because he was an oddball. Yeah. It was, I called them up and I said, listen, I don't know this guy. I swear. I didn't.
That's really fun,
anybody
though.
have to do, I know.
It's fun. It's fun when you put something out there that you came from your brain, and people really respond and love it. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's great.
And you've been making art in Provincetown the entire 41 years you've been here.
Yeah, I kind of came here to reinvent myself as an artist.
Yeah.
So this is where I became truly myself. So that's my love of Provincetown really comes from the fact that being here is where I can really be myself, and that's to me, my life now as an artist and Provincetown are like this. I wouldn't be able to separate them. And I think that a lot of people come here and reimagine themselves here too. And it's one of the powers of this community somehow that we all get to be who we really want to be, because the outside world and all that judgment and all that caca, it's not here.
Right.
We fight for that to keep it real.
And I think people come here and they don't know that they have that thing inside them. And so we have people all over town, like, the bank teller. And then the bank teller's here for a few years and goes, oh, and starts drawing. And then all of a sudden, the bank teller has this other thing. And it happens all the time to everyone. It just engenders this kind of, it births this kind of feeling of, oh, I can do that.
Yeah. There's so much inspiration everywhere, and you're also allowed so much time and space and support to kind of do whatever you want and grow to whatever you can be.
Yeah.
What types of mediums are y'all working in these days?
Well, right these days, I'm working in clay. I'm going to be 80 next year, but I've just been doing clay for about 3 years.
Oh, wow.
So it's a whole new adventure. I really, you know, I started late in life. I started when I came to Provincetown, and I was already almost 40, and so I came doing photography. I did photography for a long time, and then I started painting and printmaking, and now I'm doing clay. I'm just trying to get it all in.
Yeah.
Before you croak. Right? There's only so much time we have, so let's just
But
do
my work
everything.
is also very much of here, of place, so I get to express my feelings about the place in different medium, which I,
Yeah.
you know.
I always say you're never old until you feel like you're done learning. And it feels like you're still out there learning, growing.
Oh yeah,
and-
yeah. That's what keeps me alive.
Yeah, I love that.
Where can people come find your work?
Right now it's at On Center Gallery, across from the library.
Awesome.
Excellent.
I just really quickly, you were telling a funny story. We were saying you were in the late 80s, you worked for Adrian's.
Oh, yeah.
That's when
Right.
little baby
Because, of
Julian was
course-
running around.
Right. No, of course, we all start out in a restaurant. it
Yeah.
seems. And in the late 80s, I worked for Adrian Sear, and he and his wife had a fantastic Adrian's pizza pasta restaurant, and we were young and wild and had a blast. And meanwhile, little Julian and Marissa were little teeny beings, and I used to pick them up, you know, they'd be like running around, I'd pick them up and take them to the tables and
That's so cute.
introduce them. They
You-
were like little teeny things.
I love that. I didn't even realize that. I didn't realize that they were in the Terra Luna space at any point.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they
Yeah,
were
yeah,
always
yeah.
up on the hill.
No,
And-
they moved there. That was
Yeah.
a big move for them, because that was
Yeah.
a much bigger restaurant.
And the Terra Luna space is so great because it was so funky. And yeah, the kids were running around. And I was so impressed when I ran into Adrian at like 1 o'clock in the morning at, at Scream Along with Billy. And he came out and he went, Mary! And I went, my God, you remember me. I felt like, you know, such an elder, but he's so right there. He's our guy, right?
Yeah, he's the best.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Julian's the best now too.
Incredible.
Yeah.
What-
But thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for continuing to create and embody the spirit of Provincetown.
Yeah.
It's really nice to meet you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for
you,
coming
guys.
in. Now we're going to head it over to the babes and boys. They're going to give you a rundown of everything going on this week.
Good morning, everyone. We are coming at you just a bit before the storm tomorrow. Hope everyone's safe. We do have a lot coming up this weekend, but gather your water, stay safe, get your boat in. And starting today, Tea Dance is now weekends. Weekends only for Tea Dance.
We also have the final weekend of Horoscope, an edgy astrological journey by drag queen Lux Liaison. That's at the Pilgrim House this Friday and Saturday. The final shows at 6 p.m.
Also, this weekend is the last weekend to catch Paige Turner's Drag Me to the 80s at the Post Office Cabaret at 6 p.m. Friday and Saturday. Check it out. It's a really fun show, especially that ending. If you're a child of the 80s like myself, you're going to have some feels.
There's also a lot of amazing artists with art openings this weekend in galleries all across town. One of our favorites to not miss is Paul Rizzo, and that's going to be at the 411 Gallery, 7 to 9 p.m.
Also, this weekend, Showgirl of the Year Sheree is performing her show Pink with Mike Flanagan at the Post Office Cabaret at 7:30 on Friday. She'll have 2 more shows coming up in October, so check that out, postofficecabaret.net.
And Giselle, one of our favorite queens, has their own solo show that's been going on Fridays, Post Office Cabaret as well. That's 8 p.m.
And it has been announced that Leah Delaria has a new live show every Friday in September at the club, starting at 9 p.m. She's got 3 more shows this month. Check out our very own Leah Delaria.
And Saturday, Terra Luna starts a small plate menu starting at 5 o'clock with a dance party kicking off at 7 featuring Bonehead Stew from New York.
Special night at Terra Luna.
It is. We also allegedly hear this is their last season, so you'd ever run over and at least stop by for dinner sometime.
Yeah, go on and catch them. And also catch Spooky's final Helltown Burlesque, also co-winner of Showgirls this year. Congratulations, Spooky. Yes. It's this Saturday at 9 p.m.
And Sunday kicks off Pet Appreciation Week from 2 to 5 with a party at the Provincetown Brewing Company.
All pets welcome. Monday, we have a free marimba concert, Marimba Monday porch concert at the Brasswood Inn starting at 6 p.m.
And every Tuesday you can catch the Diva Queens at the Crown and Anchor at 7:30 p.m. in the Cabaret Room.
This Wednesday, September 20th, brings us a lot of theater. So we have the reopening of Casa Valentina. If you had missed it earlier in the season, it's back until October 1st at the P-Town Theater. Grab your tickets now.
And also a ticket to grab is Yoli's final show of the season. That's at 7:30 at Crown and Anchor, and we understand that they'll be performing a few additional songs that have just been written to share with us as her P-Town fam.
And we also want to tout Bob's late night show returning to the Post Office Cabaret this Wednesday, September 20th at 7:30. You can also catch Bob again on October 26th, so get those tickets now.
And Broadway on the Beach continues. That's 9 p.m. at the Crown and Anchor with Delta Miles, John Richardson, Brittany Rolfs, and other towny talent.
Thursday will bring us into Tennessee Williams Fest week. It will run through the 24th and have a full weekend of theatrical performances. This year it's sci-fi themed. It's going to be weird, it's going to be wild, but it's going to be very Tennessee Williams. You're going to want to check them out performing all over town.
It is also the last performance of Hilary Tamar in the Crown and Anchor's Cabaret Room. I just saw it last week and it is amazing, so please don't miss her show.
And Thursday also brings us the final Magnifique Wonderland, which is a queer body positive neo-burlesque spin on the classic fable of Alice in Wonderland, starting at 8 p.m. at the Crown and Anchor. Congratulations.
Really rad show. There's a whole lineup of really amazing shows, so whichever you can get to, or all of them if you can, we highly recommend.
Yeah, catch those shows now before it turns into towny winter.
But for now, enjoy towny summer, y'all.
Stay safe this weekend.
Here to do Glitter in the Air by Pink from her Pink show, which is tonight at 7:30 at the Post Office Cabaret. The one and only current co-reigning Showgirl of the Year, Miss Sheree Marcel.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Have you ever fed a lover with just your hands? Close your eyes and trust it, just trust it. Have you ever thrown a fist full of glitter in the air? Have you ever looked fear in the face and said, I just don't care? 'Cause it's only half past the point of no return, the tip of the iceberg, the run before the burn, the thunder before the lightning, and the breath before the phrase. Have you ever felt this way? Have you ever hated yourself for staring at the phone? Your whole life waiting on the ring to prove you're not alone. Have you ever been touched so gently you had to cry? Have you ever invited a stranger to come inside? 'Cause it's only half past the point of oblivion, the thunder before the lightning, the walk before the run, the breath before the kiss, and the fear before the flame. Have you ever felt this way? La, la,
your breath and ask yourself if it could get better than tonight.
Wow.
What's going on? Ooh,
Killing it as always.
thank you so much.
Congratulations on your show.
Thank you so much. Thank you. How are you two?
Really
Really
good.
good.
It's
How are
really
you?
nice to see you.
It's
So
good to
nice to
see
be
you.
here.
Is this your third time on?
Second time.
Second, okay.
Second time. I'm still a noob.
We'll have to have you on more then.
Oh my goodness.
It's funny that you did that song because as soon as I saw the promo for the Pink Show, Mike had posted it on Instagram, and I immediately commented, I was like, oh my God, are you going to do Glitter in the Air? And he's like, of
Yes.
course.
Perfect. See?
So I love that you did that for me and
I
Wake
know.
Up.
Thank you. Thank you. And you know, if people actually come out to the show, they'll get to see some beautiful aerialist performance. So during that, so it's even more impactful. If you think that was like nice, imagine an aerialist with it. It's pretty wonderful.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
2 more shows at the PO.
3 more actually. So we have one tonight at 7:30, and then we have one on October 12th during Women's Week, and then one October 20th, and then
Awesome.
that's it. Yeah.
So you did Pink this summer. Last summer you did Whitney.
Last summer we did Adele with a sprinkling of Whitney.
Summer before.
And the summer before we did was Whitney. And that was my first season here.
Any idea who you're going to take on next year?
So we're talking about it. We're talking about it. And I can't say anything quite yet, but I
Okay.
think it's going to be really fun and exciting. I think people are going to really dig it.
Okay, great.
But we'll let you know, I promise.
Okay, perfect. I mean, there's so many people I would love to see you do just because you handle it so well, and you can kind of
you so
tackle
much.
anybody. I mean, you started with
appreciate that.
Whitney, so.
You know, Whitney, that girl, you know, in my mind, there's no one that can sing anywhere close to that woman's voice ever. There will never be. It's an honor to have even been able to try and tackle her repertoire. I think what's great about, you know, doing that music for me is that I'm never ever trying to replicate her because there's never going to be anyone that can. It's just trying to find yourself in the music and taking it from there. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing it with us. Oh, and you can also see Sheree this Wednesday at my show at the Post Office Cabaret.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Who else you got?
Totally forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
Everybody come to the Post Office Wednesday night at 7:30 as well.
Yeah.
Is that a show?
Yeah, let's call it a show.
I think that's a wrap, kids.
Yeah, thank you so much for all our amazing guests who came in to chat with us today. Thank you to all our viewers. Thank you to our sponsors, the Boat Slip, the Provincetown Business Guild, the Brass Key, Provincetown Brewing Company, and also the Crown and Anchor.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for waking up in Provincetown.
Wherever you are.
And we'll see you next Friday.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Wake up. Wake up, wake up. In Provincetown. This week featuring Wake up, wake up. Can I have some coffee? Wake up, wake up. Make it strong, please. Hey. Oh. Hey. Wake up, wake up. Oh. No, really, can I have some coffee?